Diolch, Tafaltarub go Grailgula Draw. Hello and welcome to Irish with a Draw. I'm Olin Sudduth, the host of these videos. Last time we were together, we went over the absolute basics of a conversation in Irish. Today, we're going to build off of that, pick up just a few more very simple phrases, easy words, just small little nuggets that we can use to help construct the basics of a conversation and grow our skill in the language just a little bit. All right, let's start our learning today with three really simple, really versatile little phrases that you can drop into pretty much any conversation. Those are good morning, good afternoon, and good night. The first of those, good morning, is Majin wa, Majin wa, Majin wa, Majin wa. Now, if you're an English speaker, that first word, Majin, that seems spelled reasonably. The second, MH makes a W sound. Okay. Just to add some complexity and some fun, if we were speaking Munster, Southern Irish, that would actually make a V sound. It would become Majin va. And Northern Irish, Ulster, it keeps the W, but Ulster has interesting vowels. And so they would pronounce that Y. So it would be Majin Y. But for us, speaking Connacht, it's Majin wa. The second of these does double duty. Good afternoon is also the same as good evening. And this is pronounced Tranuna ma. Tranuna ma. Tranuna ma. And you get that funny beginning. It's a little complex. It's not a cha-cha sound. It's almost a double tap with your T. Tra. Tranuna ma. This one's pronounced the same in Southern Irish and Munster. Your Northern Irish, the Ulster, keeps the mumma, but they change the vowels again and it becomes mai. So it's Tranuna mai. But in Connacht, also in Munster, it's Tranuna ma. The last of these is the most varied. I won't say complicated, but it's the most varied. For Connacht, this is Iwa. Good night is Iwa. And I know that seems like a lot of contraction there to get down to just the sound of E for that word. Even for Connacht, that seems like a big shrink, but it's the way that it is. However, you may also hear it pronounced Ihi, Ihiwa. So Iwa, Ihiwa, those are both correct. They're both the same. As a matter of fact, my girls and I, we speak a little Irish to each other at bedtime every night. My 5-year-old always goes with Iwa, whereas my 6-year-old thinks that Ihiwa sounds funny, so she uses Ihiwa. Both of them are correct. Now, you do get the variety again when you start looking at other dialects. From Munster, the first word changes slightly, and then you also get the V sound in the second word, so the phrase would be pronounced Ihava, Ihava. Whereas in Ulster, your Northern Irish, you keep it sort of mix and matches and goes with their fun vowels, so it becomes Ihawai, Ihawai. But for us, Connacht, it's Iwa, or if you're feeling frisky, Ihiwa. But typically you're going to get Iwa. And these are good morning, good afternoon, and good night. All right, so in this section of the video, we're going to talk about our name and also what we here in the South would call our manners. If you would like to ask someone their name, you would use Caird es anam chuich. Caird es anam chuich. Caird es anam chuich. The standard Irish there will be Cod. Cod es anam chuich. But I'm going to use the Connacht way, Caird es anam chuich. The most popular way to answer that would be, is Misha Olin? Or if my name was Steve, is Misha Steve? Is Misha? My name is. And of course, I'm going to go the Connacht route here as well, and I'm going to use the phrase Olin Torum. Olin Torum. or Steve Totem. Now, if you looked at those individual words, that would be Ata Autumn. But as always, Conic likes to contract things, likes to run them together, and so you get Totem or Ulen Totem. Now that we've done our name, turning to our manners. Remember last video we talked about how to say thank you. Goedemorgen or Goedemorgen. Well, what about please? The most common way to say please is let a hell. Let the hell. Let a hell. The conic way to do this is a little more complex, and that is Masha de hele. Masha de hele. Masha de hele. That's please. So let a hell or Masha de hele. What about you're welcome? You're welcome would be Tafalcherut. 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 That's plain out, typical, you're welcome. If you want to go with something a little more casual, you're good, it's okay. You might use Tasha Tao. Tasha Tao. Tasha Tao, it's good, it's alright, no problem. So, Tafalcherut, you're welcome, or Tasha Tao, it's good, it's alright. Alright, so I'd like to devote this next section of the video to a real gotcha for English-speaking learners of the Irish language, and that's the fact that there is no such thing in Irish as yes or no. Now, a lot of times, especially more and more recently, you'll hear people using things like sha or tall to stand in for yes. Kneel to stand in for no. You know, tall literally means it is, knee or kneel is not, and sha is often just used as a shorthand for yes. The thing is, this is an anglicized approach. This is something that people who only have a few words of Irish might do, or those that have learned school Irish and maybe some bad habits. But actual Irish grammar and tradition, there's simply no such thing as yes or no. Instead, to speak Irish properly, you respond in sentences or phrases that are in the affirmative or the negative. For instance, let's take a super simple question. Am ma lat coish? And ma lat coish. Do you like cheese? Now, see, personally, cheese and crackers, that's my jam. So I might respond with something like, is bralum koish? I love cheese. However, the full response, the formal response here would be, is malum koish? For I like cheese. Or ni malum koish? For I don't like cheese. However, you might shorten that to the simple phrases of is ma, for I like, or ni ma, I don't like. Those are perfectly acceptable responses, but you would not use tall or sha, ni, kneel. You have to respond with a complete sentence or with a phrase that comes back in the affirmative or the negative, because again, there's no such thing as yes or no in Irish, no matter how odd that might seem to us as English-speaking learners. Well, we've come to the end of this video. Today, we covered how to say good morning, Majinwa, good afternoon or good evening, Tranunama, good night, Iwa. We've learned how to ask someone their name, Kerdesanamchwich. We've learned how to give them our name, Olin Totem, or is Misha Olin. We've learned how to say please, Ledahel, or alternately, Masha de hele. We've learned how to say you're welcome, Tafalcherut, or the more casual, it's okay, Tasha Tao. We've learned that there's no such thing as yes or no in proper Irish, in real Irish. We've learned that you have to answer in either the affirmative or the negative. So with our sample question of, is mallat koish, do you like cheese? We might respond with, is malam koish, I like cheese. Or, ni malam koish, I don't like cheese. Now that would be the formal answers. We've also learned that the common, more informal, relaxed way would simply be is ma or ni ma for I like that or don't like that. And that, my friends, is what we've covered today. And that's it. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I really enjoy making these. I personally get a lot out of sharing what I'm learning about this really interesting, unique language, and I hope that you find it useful and that you're getting enjoyment out of it as well. If you do like the videos, please take a moment and click the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that and turn the bell notification on so that you get notified for future video releases. And that's that. Thank you again so much for coming. Thank you for watching. And slán go fóill a charda. Goodbye for now, my friends.